Hey guys, welcome back to Our Family Nest. So it is Monday after Thanksgiving, back in the swing of things. Got my video posted this morning, all caught up with emails. I'm having a pretty good day so far. So I'm headed to my hair appointment and still growing it out, I guess. I'm not gonna let her cut the length still. See how much longer I can let it grow before it starts to bother me. I just feel like as I have gotten older, like my hair texture has changed. As it gets longer, like it just doesn't look like full enough and just healthy enough. But for some reason, and I don't know if it's because I started taking Nutrafol, which was just preventative, because when you're on semaglutide compounds, some people lose a lot of hair just because you're losing weight kind of like so quickly. Well, I stopped taking that semaglutide compound, which more on that in another video coming later this week, but I'm still taking the Nutrafol because I paid for it and it's not cheap. So I'm like, I'm not gonna just not take this. So I don't know, maybe it's helping my hair growth, and you know, I take vitamins and stuff too, but anyways, my hair will probably look pretty close to the same when I'm done with my appointment, because basically just getting the roots touched up. At the library right now to return Icebreaker, and they notified me that book 2 of this Maple something series, what the heck is it called? Maple Hills series, I think. It doesn't even say book 1 on here or anything like that, but book 2 is out. I reserved that. It's ready for me to pick up, and then book 3 of this comes out next year. So it was pretty good. A gal I follow, Beach Reads and Bubbly on Instagram, she really liked this book. It's got some spicy scenes and stuff to keep it interesting. However, I agreed with her in her assessment that the middle of the book kind of drug on a little bit. I would agree with that, but overall it was still really good. And it sounds like book 2 is about different characters anyways. It's just set in the same town. So I came out to the kitchen to make waffles for dinner. I brought the camera with me. I didn't even film. I got so wrapped up into making our waffles with our Clean Simple Eats protein pancake and waffle mix. They have the buttermilk, and then they also have the buttermilk gluten-free. So here's the thing, you can tell like it's a healthier pancake waffle mix. This is what I do to it. Probably defeats the whole purpose. Add a few chocolate chips. I usually add these to the batter, but I forgot, so we're just adding them now. Then we get the syrup, some whipped cream. Carly's eating hers. What'd you put on yours? Crunchy peanut butter. You like it with that? Wish we had some strawberries. Our strawberries were icky though. And then she's watching Gossip Girl, and her cat's watching her. She was literally licking the whipped cream right off the can. This is Ken's idea of Thanksgiving leftovers. Quit filming just your head. He took his shirt off so he didn't get grease on his shirt.
What's wrong with that?
But what are you making?
Potatoes, pancakes, stuffing pancakes, and turkey and gravy. Why would you?
So random. The potatoes, that's the stuffing.
It doesn't look as good as what my mom used to. She made hers.
I think you just made the too hot, like you burnt it.
No, I didn't.
Looks it in gravy. So I wanted to get my laundry done today, but that didn't happen because it's now 7:38. Chase is still doing laundry. So I wanted to show you guys how fast, because I'm still growing my hair out, okay? And I feel like when I curl it, I end up like over curling it, and it just doesn't look right. I just want my hair to kind of have like a wave to it. So I'm gonna show you. I've used this once so far. Now this waver that I got off Amazon, I will link it down below. How you can just do like so fast, just wave to your hair. Now I know if you have longer hair than me, it's gonna take more effort because you're gonna have to go like curl, 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 you know what I mean? Like work your way down. But for me, with my length of hair, I can literally just put it in one time, hold it, and that's it. I'll show you. In the front, you got to kind of make sure you get all of it because you have these pieces that you see up front. But then when you kind of get to the back, you only need to like do the top layer. And make sure it's like this, you know what I mean? You don't go like that. You want it to be like, and I don't go all the way to the end. And I hold it probably about, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 seconds, something like that. Look at that. Just a nice little wave. So the way, because I researched this and I almost bought like a more expensive one off of, God, I can't remember what the website was now because I was watching TikToks and I was like, well, maybe I need a more expensive. I think it was like $90. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to try a cheapie. I don't even know what brand this is. Nothing special brand off Amazon first and see how well that does. Because sometimes the price and the brand doesn't matter, you know? Okay, so grab it. I make sure I get like pretty close to the end. I care more about the distance here than I do the distance up top, if that makes sense. You don't want to get way up there. So that's why I feel like I said, my length of my hair right now is perfect for this. Because if it gets a little longer, that's where you'd have to let it go and then come down here and do like another clamp. I'm doing this right now, even though it's late at night, because I want to see if I go to sleep. I'll do the back when you guys aren't watching. I want to see if I go to sleep with it like this, if it would be like wavy enough for second day hair. It's not going to be completely a good test because obviously I don't normally do this to my hair this late at night. Ken called Blake to come over to eat. That's why the dogs are barking. Blake said he had homework. He's in college. I don't know if you guys know that. Blake had homework, but Ken's like, just come real quick, grab a plate, eat, and leave. You don't have to stay. I'm gonna comb through it yet. Let it cool before you like do anything else with it. Okay, so then when I'm done, I'm gonna take my hairspray and just lightly spray up here on top. Because at least go like this, so it's loosened a little bit on the top of my head. And then you could do this with your fingers or like a pick like this and just kind of lightly comb it out. Yeah, I mean, minus me talking, which made this process a little bit longer. Like when I did this yesterday, I literally had it done in like 2 or 3 minutes. Way quicker than curling it, in my opinion, because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 sections and you're done. Good morning, guys. We got a little bit of snow last night. Are you excited? Are you excited? Tucker's excited. Go get him. Go get your bra. I think they love it when it's this cold outside and snowy. Where's your ball, Tucker? Where's your ball? So if you're wondering if my hair held the curl throughout the night, it did not. I had to just real quick redo it. It was completely straight. So I'm just trying to get a little bit of laundry and some chores done early today. Why is it when you do laundry, you never have enough hangers? Where do they go? Where do they disappear to? Who takes them? Do your clothes multiply in the washer? Like, I don't get it. Carly left. If you guys watched her one video, I think it went up, was it Friday? She did this like modeling photography shoot type thing. The photographer knows somebody that has like this agency or something that they represent models, they represent people for like commercials and ads and things like that. And Carly's meeting with her today. I did not suggest for me to go with her. I just simply said, do not sign anything and you don't talk about money. If it gets to that point, I need to be there, we'll take that step together. But this was kind of more just to get to know you, answer some basic questions. And I wanted her to feel like she could handle it on her own if that's what she wanted. And these are all like, you know, this photographer, this company, the woman she's talking with today are all things that she's like pursued and handled on her own. And sometimes as a parent especially, like you want to do everything for your kids because you know that you could do it better. Like, do I think it would be better for me to be there today? Absolutely. But how do you learn? You can't learn ever if you don't ever get to that point where you can start doing things without someone holding your hand. And mistakes might be made, but this is how you learn. And that's hard sometimes for parents to swallow because we want the best for our children and we want them to succeed and we want them to be better human beings than even we are. So we think we have to help with every little thing. But what that turns into is then you could have a 30-year-old child who cannot even go get an oil change by themselves because you've held their hand and coddled them for way too long. My mind always reverts back to that Finding Nemo movie, that if you don't let him do anything, him being they, son or daughter, they will never do anything. Whatever that saying is, you know, when, what is it, Marvin? What's the dad? When he won't let Nemo, you know, venture off and do anything alone because he's so scared. And teens or kids that are watching, like, that's how your parents feel. Most parents. We're petrified. We're so scared. We're not going to lead our kids in the right direction. But once you let go just a little bit at a time, you'll realize that they find their way. I'm going to tell one more story here. I'm going to use Blake as an example. I remember when Blake was, what, 20, living at home, wanting to party all the time, having people over. All of his friends were always so like, we always used to say it was like a herd of elephants coming through the house. And you know, when you have dogs, it's a pain when people are coming at 1, 2 in the morning, coming, leaving. It just was chaos. And there were times when we were just like, okay, enough, no more. Then kids never like to call them parties. They're like, oh, I'm having some friends over. And you think it's just a couple people and it ends up being 12 people. Like, that's a party. Call it whatever you want. And we were just like, this has to stop. It cannot happen anymore. So what does he do? He moves out, gets a house with some friends, starts having the time of his freaking life. He's basically living in a frat house without going to college. Like, what is the end game here? He thought he wanted to be a bartender. So Ken reached out to some friends. We got him a job at like basically the highest level of family-owned restaurants in the Toledo, Ohio area, where the bartenders at these restaurants make really good money because their customers are higher end customers. Okay, well, he ends up working his way up to being cook, realizing that the bartender job was probably never going to happen because most of the bartenders, number one, were female or have been working in the restaurant business for many, many, many years. They weren't going to hire a 21 or 22-year-old as a bartender in these classy restaurants. Okay, so we're like, okay, well, he kept talking about maybe getting the cook job. And so we're like, okay, for somebody not going to college, you're gonna work a lot of hours, but you can make a really good salary being the head cook of a restaurant. So if that's his path eventually, great. Instead, the drama of working in the restaurant business started occurring. He started kind of getting sick of the job, sick of the politics, and was like kind of done with it. I need to do something better with my life. So we're like, okay. So Blake had found a advertisement for a company that was hiring that showed a lot of potential for growth for him, and Ken happened to know someone who works at that company, reached out, kind of just was like, hey, my son's applying for this job. Could you, flag the resume, make sure HR sees it? And he's like, yes, absolutely. So connections matter, guys. Like, even if you go to college, if you can use your parents' connections in any way, or if you do like an internship through college or whatever, use connections. Even Andrew's first job that he got out of college was somebody that he knew back in his days of playing baseball and Ken coaching sports. Like, there was a connection that helped him get that job. So Blake interviews for this job, does great on like all the tests and stuff that you had to take for the job, works at this company for 6 months, and decides, I'm going to take advantage of their college program because I can do college online while I'm working and get college 100% paid for. So he's in a program where basically you take one class at a time, and I think the classes are only like for 4 weeks, and you're just constantly, take a class 1 month, take a class the next month. Maybe it's 6 weeks, but it's somewhere in there, like 4 to 6 weeks. And he's majoring in IT, computers. So he will have the opportunity when he gets his degree to move up within his company where he's at. So it's an amazing opportunity because once he gets his degree, he will have so many doors opening up for him within his company, making a lot more money. And he's almost been at this job for a year. I think it's been like 9.5 months or something, and he's already been promoted. So he's making way more money than we ever thought he would be making at 23 years old. Now going to college, won't get any debt for going to college. And to think back to, wow, 3 years ago when he moved out and the whole frat house and all that, we're like, oh my God, what is his future? What's gonna happen? And I always used to tell Ken, because he would be more concerned than me, I always used to tell him, you have to let kids figure things out on their own. If you push and push, they are just going to push back and attempt to go in the opposite direction. If you kind of just, you give your advice when they're sort of asking for it, you're supportive, you help kind of persuade them as kind of almost sneakingly as possible without them feeling like you're trying to control them. And somehow, most of the time, things have a way of working themselves out. I just think like his story is a perfect example of, he did not really like school, did not want to go to college, out of high school, and now at 23 years old, he's in college and he still has plenty of time to do better for himself. It worked itself out the way it was meant to, and you didn't have to like force anything, you know what I mean? Like, it just happened like it was supposed to. I think that's gonna wrap up today's video, guys, because I feel like that whole message is an important message. I think it's important for kids to hear, teenagers to hear why parents do and say the things that they do, because we care so much. And then even from a parent standpoint of maybe you haven't gone through this yet with your kids, to really try hard to have patience and stand by your kids, be supportive, but don't like control them. Don't do everything for them. Let them figure stuff out. Let them make mistakes. Let them learn. Let them want to achieve things in life because it's what they want, not what you want. Wow, I had no idea that that's what me turning the camera on right now was going to lead to, but I kind of love it, and I hope you enjoyed listening to it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make it a great day. We'll see you guys back here on Friday. Bye, guys.